once you cut out the base for your project, you're going to start putting coils on. The coils you're going to slip and score just like you would anything else that you're attaching. So, say for example you have this coil. You're going to score around the base of your piece and also score on your coil. Be careful not to add too much slip. It can get a little messy if you've got too much on. Just put a little bit on both and set your coil on. When you come around with your coil, you have two choices right here. You can either cut it off so that the coil goes straight around and the next one goes directly on top, or you can blend this piece down like this and you can continue your coiling right up on top of that piece. Like that. So here's a finished one. You can see here it started and it blended right up on top. When you go to put your next coil on, you can start it right there, score on both parts of the coil, and your slip on the ends. And you keep coiling. These joints here, it's important to smooth them out, make sure they're attached really, really well. And also make sure your coils are attached. You might want to just wheel them back and forth, press down, compress them so that they're attached. Now as you're working, you have a choice with your coils of either setting them on top of the previous coil, to the outside of the previous coil, or to the inside. So if you're going to set them on top of the previous coil, that means that your pot is going to go straight up. If you set it to the outside, that means your pot's going to start coming out. And if you set it to the inside, it means your pot will start to go in. So depending on where you're setting your coils, you can choose. Now you can set your coils to the outside for a while and your pot will go out, and then you can start putting them on the inside so that they go in, depending on what you want. If you look at this little sample here, you can see that I set them on the outside here and then on the inside to go in, and then back on the outside to get that curve there. At the top of the piece on here, I set the coils out on one side so that I could make a spout. So I'll show you what that might look like. I'm not going to slip and score, but you'll see. If you just give yourself a little more coil sticking out. So these are on top, these are on the outside, and these are on top. Then that gives you the opportunity to create something like a spout as you're working. You can also add things on that are extra, like these little handles, these handles, this little decorative piece. And you would do that simply by adding on. Now these here, if I wanted to add a handle on, I want to make elephant feet. That's when you press the coil down on either end to make them flat. And then it's a lot easier to slip and score because you'll have a solid piece there. So if I wanted to add this right here, actually we'll take these off because I didn't slip and score those, but say for example I wanted to add something right here. I made the elephant feet, I would slip and score the ends where I want them on. And then those little elephant feet provide a spot for attaching that's a little wider. And the extra clay you can blend in. So as you're coiling, it's important to decide where the coil's going, on the top, outside, or inside, and then just make sure that you're slipping and scoring carefully and blending. as you're going. Now you're going to have to smooth out either the inside or the outside as you go. So either smooth on the outside so that you don't see the coils anymore and they're well attached, or smooth on the inside. Sometimes I like to use a tool for that. So that the inside is well blended. You may smooth on both if you would like both of them. A smooth surface allows for easier decorating and surface design. Now you can do surface design if you haven't smoothed it out. You can see this one right here. So I used a stamp and I stamped that right in there. And you can see the subtractive surface design added element. Double coils for a handle are stronger. So if you want to put a handle on, I recommend a double coil. You can do some fun things with coils. You can double them, you can twist them, to make a handle like that.